Hello guys, today I've got something special for you. We are going back to kislev and talking about their laws of magic. I want to compare them, both laws, and see if they will be good or not, whether it's for multiplayer or for campaign. So first, we've got the ice sheet. Very good staple for kislev. It's going to be just an amazing spell, very cheap. You're going to put slow on a very large radius. So you're going to be slowing many units and just, yeah, very useful. It's going to last 17 seconds. And as you can see here, it's minus 25. And in the old version that we saw a few months ago, it was this. So minus 48%. And it was only 2 mana. Now it is 4 mana and 25. So you can see here the big difference already. I also want to touch about the passive that I find is just amazing. The Frost Shield, I think, is one of the best lore in the game. Just seems very strong. Like plus 15 armor on your whole army whenever you cast a spell, especially when you have cheap spells, is going to be very, very useful. And add that with the missile block chance plus 12. Could be pretty good. Could be pretty good for your Lancers and for your heavy coursers or for your Zarkards. Just these guys are gonna tank. They're gonna tank a lot. So yeah, pretty good. So the next spell is Ice Maidens Kiss, which is a little breath spell. Apparently for 6 mana, this might have changed. So we are not going to talk about numbers here, but this will be more or less this. I want to talk about the effects. So this is pretty much a wind blast. A wind blast, but this one apparently will apply the frostbite. So you can use that only for the frostbite, and that will be pretty useful because the frostbite, I believe, is minus 25% speed, and that's nothing to sniff at. Just a very good debuff. That will be very key to any gunline centric kislev army, or even for melee, because you can then catch up to them, and it's going to be very, very good. So overcast version will deal increased damage, just basic stuff, will cost more, and yeah, will be pretty good, I think. Cheap spell, again, you're going to spam it. This one you're going to spam as well. You can always have spammable spells, it's never bad. At least if the damage is decent, but just the frostbite makes it a decent spell, I believe. So the frost blades imbues a unit with magical attacks and increase weapon damage, armor piercing damage, and melee attack. Just yeah, sure, I will take that. And overcast version increase all these value. So what does it look like? Looks like this: Frostblade. Apparently, a few months ago it was 7 mana, plus 25% base weapon damage, plus 25% armor piercing damage, plus 24%, plus 24 melee attack. Just 26-second duration is very good. Yeah, it's just a single target. Remember, it's single target, so you should use that maybe on your elite infantry in melee, or on your bears, or on your lancers. So yeah, I see that as a staple as well. A good staple for buffing your heavy cav. I think is going to be the best. Either your bears or your cav. Yeah, going to be pretty good buff to turn a fight in your favor. So next one is the Death Frost. Death Frost deals damage over time to a unit. Overcast version deals greater damage. This one is very straightforward. It's basically a Spirit Lich. Death Frost, this one. But I do not like it. I am not a fan of this spell. It's actually pretty expensive by the looks of it. Maybe it's changed. And the damage value is quite high. But I think it is not worth it. Probably it got nerfed. And we'll see the value. Like always with Spirit Lich and stuff like that, it's always about the value, but I don't think it's gonna be an incredible spell for kislev. We will see. I'm not convinced by this one. But yeah, I don't think we will see that one very often because it's going to cost you a lot of magic. And that will be a problem because I believe you do want to trigger the passive a lot. So, Crystal Sanctuary, this one is very interesting. Target unit cannot move, but has a massive increase in damage resistance. So, if your units are in a big pit fight, you will use this. So first, it is single target. Where is it? Crystal Sentry, 14 mana. So this one, lots of mana. Duration is high, so 35 duration, big damage resistance, and if you overcast, it's gonna be probably be around 20 mana. And if you overcast, it's actually gonna hit many units. It's a zone. And I think it's going to be a good spell for campaign. But if you cast that in multiplayer, I think a competent enemy will see it and will simply run away from your unit and just wait for these 35 seconds to stop. Your unit will be stuck in place, not doing anything for 35 seconds. Okay, it's not going to take damage, basically. It's basically invincible during that time. But yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I think if you can force a big melee fight inside the enemy formation, like let's say you have a Kate formation trying to defend because Kate is going to be very immobile. If you can go into the cookie jar with, let's say, your bears and stuff, and you take a big melee fight with their monsters, their cav, their infantry, whatever, you cast that on all your infantry and cav, and you will get a lot of value from this because all of your army will be taking no damage, and that will be very interesting. But I think it's not going to be very easy to play and not very good when you defend. But I can see this, like you have one of your Tsar Guard or one of your bear in the front line, basically being a wall, just being a big wall taking no damage. But again, if your enemy sees it, it can just run away, and your unit is basically netted, which is a problem. So yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see. Interesting spell, very unique. We have not seen this until now. This is new and just quite amazing, but hard to use, I think. The Heart of Winter is like, we've seen this in the showcase a few months ago. Looks very incredible against the AI because deals damage in an area and slows enemy. Both value increase over time as the storm gathers strength. Overcast version increase all value at all stages. So multi-stages, 1, 2, 3, 4 phases. With this spell, very expensive in mana, so it's why I think this one we are not gonna see it in multiplayer, because it's very expensive and because it's easy to dodge. It's gonna be easy to get out of there, and your enemy will probably just get hit by phase 1, at best phase 2, and you will never hit a human player with phase 3 or phase 4. I do not think that will be the case unless he is just AFK or something. So this one we are not going to see it in multiplayer. I doubt it. It's too much mana and probably not much return from it. But in multiplayer, single player, it's going to end the world of the AI. Just the AI is just going to plump and not dodge that thing, and just you're going to one shot the enemy army with that. So yeah, pretty interesting. So overall, I really like the Lord of Ice. I think the Death Frost is amazing. I really like the passive. I really like Frostblade. And I really like the Ice Maidens Kiss. I think you've got 3 very nice spells here. 1 big slow, 1 big buff in melee, and 1 damage spell that will just work very well. You're going to spam them all game, and you will just get a lot of value from that. Then more situational, you will use the Death Frost and the Crystal Century in a few cases. And I think the one that we'll see the less will be Heart of Winter. But Heart of Winter looks very cool. So yeah, you could always use that. It's gonna be pretty nice. So Law of Tempest, very different. And I really like the Law of Tempest as well. Especially, we don't have yet anything very clear about the Law of Tempest because we did not see you need the cards of the spells. Obviously, we just have these descriptions there, but I think it gives a good idea of how it will play and how good it will be. So first we've got the Gust of True Flight. Gust of True Flight is my favorite spell from the Law of Tempest. I think this one is going to be just incredible. Target unit gets bonus range and accuracy. This one, if you look at the units, Ice Guard 160 range, Coastal Spears 140. If you look at the Horse Archers 140, Strutsky 140. So they all have a decent range, but not amazing. It's not high elf. You don't have 180. You don't have 190 from the Way Watchers. It's decent, like Peasant Bowman range, regular archers. But if you use the Gust of True Flight, I believe this thing is gonna give you 20 more range. So your Corsairs or Strutsky who have 140 range, you suddenly have 160. And your Ice Guard, who, do not forget, will deal the Frostbite. It's actually minus 30 speed for 10 seconds from range. If they hit something, the Ice Guard, it's going to be, Frostbite. So if you use the Gust of Flight on all of these units, let's say you have 3 Strutsky and 1 Ice Guard in a good formation that you can all hit with this thing when you have a cast, it's going to be amazing because all of these units will have higher accuracy, so will hit actually better targets, easier, more arrows, more guns, more bullets touching the enemy, and with higher range. So let's say against units that you had a bad matchup at the beginning, if you do that, you will actually be either have the same range, let's say High Elves Archers, or Peasant Bowmen, you will actually match them while you were out range at the beginning. So I think the Gust of True Flight is going to be very good and will let you actually deal damage earlier than you should against advancing armies like Khorne, Lanesh, or whatever, armies that are trying to get to you in melee. Gust of True Flight, I'm going to like this one. I think going to be very good. Hailstorm Bombardment. Medium area is bombarded with explosive projectiles. Overcast version lasts longer and has more projectiles. So, lasts longer, more projectiles, big bombardment. Sounds like a very good Searing Doom. You know, Searing Doom or the flame explosion from the sky. I forgot the name. The Flame Rain. It's pretty much the same thing, I think. It's going to be a good spell. It depends on the wind up of this thing. Going to be very good in campaign, obviously, because the AI just always clumps, and that kind of spell is just very, very good against that. In multiplayer, I could see that being used. It depends on many things. But I see that as a good damage dealing spell. Might get used. Not sure yet. So Swifting Augments. All units in an area gain speed and a significant charge bonus increase. Overcast version has an increased effect area. This is amazing. Like that thing, speed, charge bonus. Wow. For your cav, for all of your lancers, is going to be such a big boost. I really like this. I think with the Gust of True Flight, these two spells are very strong. Going to make the lore very nice to use for your archers and your cav. So yeah, I think that will be used a lot. Biting Wind, long column damage spell. It's a wind spell. First wind spell for kislev. Very interesting. Same for the Bombardment. It's the first one for kislev. There is no wind or bombardment for the Law of Ice. So Overcast version deals more damage and more armor piercing damage. So I see this like a pendulum, but as we all know, the wind spells are very hit or miss because of the wind up. Some of them are very strong because they just instantly start doing damage when you cast them. And some of them you cast them, you wait 5 seconds, then the spell comes, and it's too late because your enemy dodged it. So, as always, very good against the AI. Literally everything in the game is good against the AI, as long as it does AoE damage. The AI is just gonna take it in the face. So in multiplayer, I could see this being very good. It's especially if you get AP from the Overcast. It's always useful as long as you can land your spell. So we'll see. I think could be good. Could be a good thing. Hawks of Miska. So here you've got 2 Vortex spells, and this one, the first one, Hawks of Miska, randomly moving Vortex that deals damage and applies Discourage. So this one is gonna do a big moral debuff, which could be a good thing against let's say low leadership armies like the Orcs, like the Skaven and stuff, or units that like to clump. And like Kate actually don't have the best leadership. And having this spell might destroy Kate. Because Kate is gonna clump a lot, having all of their range and melee units close to each other because of the yin and yang buff that they want to take. They want to get advantage of, and if you can put that in the middle of a Kate army, it's gonna do a lot of disruption and potentially rout some unit. So that could be interesting. Which one is it? Blizzard. So we are seeing the last one here. The Blizzard, large damaging Vortex that also applies Frostbite. So here it says large, which makes me think that the Rageous is actually, yeah, bigger than most of the Vortex we have seen until now. And this one is going to apply for Frostbite. So, a Vortex with Frostbite. I don't think the Frostbite is going to apply very well to a Vortex spell, because you usually do that on a big melee engagement or on big clump of missile units, or stuff like that. Overcast version deals extra damage. So let's look at the card. So lots of AP. Radius is 20 meters. 20 meters is pretty good. Yeah. Ranged. Good range. Yeah, very good range. You can cast that from very far away, which is very nice. It's not the case of most of these spells. So yeah, duration 15 seconds. Could be good. Could be good. Hard to say, but it's gonna look cool for sure. And I think the Oaks of Miska are gonna be more interesting to take and probably not as expensive, because 18 mana for Vortex, it's a lot. Usually you do not pick Vortex, at least not in multiplayer. And yeah, this will be good in campaign for sure. Probably not so good in multiplayer. I think I'm gonna definitely take that Swifting Augment for the Cav. Just boosting the Cav charge bonus and speed is just amazing, because these guys. Whoa, where are they? Winged Lancers. Winged Lancers. They have already a very high charge bonus, very good speed, and if you boost that, these guys are just suddenly becoming Wild Riders. And these guys cost like 700, 650. They cost nothing. The Griffon Legion as well, just crazy charge bonus, crazy speed. These guys just gonna be amazing with that spell. Same for the Warbear Riders actually, yeah. But the Warbears don't have the best charge in the world. So I think this will be better on your Cav. But yeah, the speed upgrade, the speed buff is gonna be good. Gonna be good. But I am a big fan of the Guts of True Flight. Gonna be very interesting. So I think we might see these 3 spells. I do want to know about the passive from the Law of Tempest, but we do not know that yet. Never heard anything about it. And I think, so this is more about damaging and speed. So the Law of Tempest might actually give extra, maybe melee attack, melee strength, speed to your army. That could be interesting. We will see soon enough. And yeah, I'm really eager to see that. I think both laws are good, but I believe the law of ice is going to be used a lot more because of the ice states, the Ice Maidens Kiss, and the Frost Blades. It's you can do a lot more with the law of ice. You've got slows with this, easy, very easy slow to apply with these 2 spells. Very high damage buff with the Frost Blades. Something that will just make your units unkillable with the Death Frost. No, not the Death Frost, the Crystal Sanctuary. You've got basically a big Spirit Lich and a big AoE with the Heart of Winter. Just Law of Ice, you can do anything. So yeah. Law of Tempest is more about dealing damage with 1, 2, 3, 4 damaging spells. And only 1, 2 buffs. You got 2 buffs and 4 damaging. Yeah. So more straightforward for the Law of Tempest, but interesting as well. I think, yeah, this is going to be good. But I believe Law of Ice is better. And last but not least, I do want to talk about our little friend, the Patriarch. The Patriarch is this guy, Vitaly Stratka, just random name. But the Patriarch has access to 4 buffs, which you can almost say these are spells. One of them actually gives a charge bonus, and I don't remember what, but the most important one is the healing. One of them is a lullaby that will heal units around the Patriarch, and it's the only healing for kislev, and that will be actually pretty clutch. For your bears, for your heroes and lords, that will be obviously all mounting bears, because that will be just so much better than horse, and not so much less faster. So yeah, gonna be very good to have the Patriarch in your army for healing, which is not in the laws of magic. So yeah, Patriarch, he's got actually the best lore, technically, lore of healing. So yeah, it'll be very good. I think kislev is going to be very fun to use, and I will talk about their units and the synergies in the next videos. And I will see you guys very soon. If you guys enjoyed this, let me know in the comments, leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys very soon. Bye bye.